how long does it take you to create one painting? Well, that's a
okay.
That's a rough question too. It depends on the.
Well, something like this.
Look at this painting.
Okay.
The details are wacky.
Well, this painting. This is a very complicated painting. I don't know. A lot of what's going to be taking time on this is the idea that I decided to make it embroidered because I wanted it to look like Marie Lescaut's Louis XV's wife, Queen Marie from France, but really I think she's from Poland. She had this wonderfully embroidered dress. And it's not going to be the same colors, but it's going to have the same sort of look to it. I like this picture too because she's in front of a window with a curtain, so I think it kind of fits with the theme. So that's going to take a long time. If I were to guess, I'd probably say maybe between 90 and 140 hours. It depends how much sometimes when I do embroidery, I make it look like different types of cloth next to each other, but sometimes I want it to look like it's actually embroidered, like every tiny little stitches. If you do cross stitching or something like it's like I'm trying to do that with a tiny little hair of a brush. X, 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 line, 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 etc. So we'll see how crazy I get into this one, but on average, for a little small painting, I can finish that in a day, usually, like if it's a little mini painting. Like later on in this broadcast, if I do get to the point where I start off that mini painting I sketched earlier. A painting like that, if it's a custom one, that probably takes maybe 10, maybe 15, 20 hours at the most. So that's something I could do in a day. I do paint all the time. I don't get out much. I'm mostly sitting right here or in my studio in Kansas City.
Sometimes you get to Epcot.
What's that? Or sometimes I go to Epcot and I sign my painting. So it's always something that is.
We try to do nature.
That is mostly what I do. Yeah, we do. We live in a very lovely area here in Florida, so I try to go on a walk around the block and go in the forest and look at my swamps and stuff like that.
We also have a very nice backyard that Jasmine can escape to.
Our backyard, you can't tell because we always have to close the windows when we're broadcasting here, but our backyard is it's not a big backyard, but it's very
I would describe it
as
a courtyard.
It's a courtyard, so it's like kind of fenced in, but it's it's a whole little micro.
It's taken us years and years to design it this way.
Yes, it is meant to be like
animals
like something you'd see at a zoo, and it's open to any
We attract animals like insane amounts.
Oh yeah, I've seen up to 8 raccoons and possums at the same time in my courtyard, just there hanging out, drinking water, eating.
If we left our gate open, we'd have a deer in here, no doubt.
Oh yeah, we get deer in our front yard.
Certainly.
And in the back in the alley, we got them there. But
I'm an early riser, so I see deer quite a bit.
Yeah, we get up at like 4 in the morning. So. Okay, I have put a little bit of color on her lips. Not a lot. I put just a little bit of pink. I put a little bit of red on it originally just to remind myself, hey, Jasmine, that part's going to be your mouth. But I'm going to keep it kind of pastel. I don't want to look like she's got a whole lot of makeup on. She's not going to have a whole lot of color on her face because I want it to have that sort of pale European portrait of that time period where it was very fashionable, look like you died like the day before, kind of. And then she's got a bunch of absinthe here, so that doesn't really help the situation. So I think I'm liking where she's going. One thing I might do before I work on the rest of it is I've kind of drawn in, I think I did this with a ruler last time you guys were here. I've kind of drawn in the lines, which will be the windowsill. I want to make sure I outline that now and over here because it's kind of starting to turn in the background. And I don't want it to look like she's outside with a weird curtain hanging behind her. I want it to look like she's inside and that window is open and it's open to the outside. But I want her to definitely be an interior. Yeah.
Okay, Jasmine cannot really see the screen.
No.
What princess, even though your name is Jasmine, what princess do I associate with you the most? Disney.
Well, it could be Jasmine or Elsa, maybe, or Jasmine, or I don't know, baby. You mentioned all of them a lot.
Does Jasmine sing the animals like Snow White?
Oh, Snow White! You called me Snow White like 3 times today.
Yes.
That's what you were saying that earlier with all the critters in our
She
yard.
does sing to the animals in the yard.
I do, and the animals come to see me. They love me.
Daughter says she's moving to yours because you have raccoons. You
know, oh my gosh!
We love our raccoons. Our raccoons are actually very sweet.
Our raccoons are honey.
I'd say the scariest things that come into our backyard are the kitties.
They're wild kitties, not our personal kitties, but the wild kitties. Because I do, we have
except for Gamera.
Try to keep the citrus rat population under control, so we do let stray cats into our yard, and some of them are kind of scary.
Oh, okay. So I asked the room.
Yeah.
I know that. There are a lot of creative people in here, and I'm wondering what skills they have. Muriel says she's really great at dancing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm terrible at dancing. That's something I was impressed with.
Says I can do a bit of everything, but I can't knit. I know you do pottery, and you do it really well.
Yeah, we've got a couple people in the group I think have talked about doing pottery and like ceramics and stuff. Yeah.
And we know Shaylee's great at art.
Shaylee, she's got a Patreon too. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I've a lot of my friends I know are often they're artists, or I have a lot of acquaintances and friends who are musicians also. Don't know how much of that overlaps, but sometimes they'll be musicians and artists. My stepsister Sonia.
So Layla's good at voices.
Oh, really?
I'd love to hear that sometime.
That's cool.
Fun. I do a few myself.
Yeah,
that's fun.
That's always kind of neat. That's something I am not good at, but I have I know a few people who do like voice acting, like for dubbing
I've met a few of those.
It's
fantastic. I love
that's
it.
Really neat.
It's something I always kind of wanted to get into.
That's
professional musician, jazz, classical, Native American. You love, really.
Wow, that is very cool.
I don't know these things. Paper cutting, that's awesome.
Oh, paper cutting's cool.
The viola.
Wow. That's.
See, I knew that creative people were in here.
Yeah, it sounds like if you're interested in one form of the art, sometimes you yourself like those things, but maybe you can't do them, or you like to do those things and you like a different sort of art.
Now, I know one thing that's not necessarily art, but there's a skill to it, is that Nintendo guy and me, we're funny.
Oh, yeah.
We say funny things and we do.
You guys are both funny,
yes. Yes, exactly.
That's very true. Yeah.
That takes effort.
That does.
You have to think about things.
Well, you could say comedy is an art.
Comedy is definitely art. Because it's actually, believe it or not, very akin to philosophy.
It is. That's the whole idea.
And the psychology too, because you kind of just learning how language works and playing around with that.
And also how to avoid
sewing. That's great.
Yeah.
Craft sewing and bowling. A tattooist. Excellent.
Oh, that's neat. That's something I've never done.
I'm good at talking rubbish. Me too.
With my artwork, but I've never done any of the actual tattoos.
See, I'm good at talking rubbish. That's
you are very good at talking rubbish, Maddie. Yeah, that is the court jester sort of.
Exactly.
Thing.
That's where charm, charisma, and
in avoiding getting slapped if people try to hit you. Yes.
I know most Disney songs in French and English.
Oh, that's a good one.
I draw, sew, make jewelry, a bit of jack of all trades. That's nice. I can write legal documents. Does that count? That does.
That does. I have to do that myself sometimes when I don't have a legal guy doing it. I'll write my own contracts. Yeah.
That is definitely a skill set.
That's one thing I considered doing for a while, was going into law before I started doing art.
You'd be good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Jasmine always joked. I always thought that you and I would make a fantastic real estate team. I think that we'd just be good at. I would be the person that showed people around houses, and you would be the one that.
I could crunch the numbers.
Yes, you could crunch numbers. You do all the paperwork, and I would just show around houses and sell houses. Yeah. I think we'd be fantastic at it.
Well, to be fair, we live in, this area of Florida, and then obviously in central London are places that you want to know real estate.
Well, Frosty B says it's not a skill per se, but I'm good at video games. That
is definitely a skill. Hey, we are at Twitch here. That is what made Twitch, or people who are skilled at that.
It also means you're probably good at other things too.
It probably means you have very good hand-eye coordination and quick reflexes. That would be
this is cool. Girl in the Mitten says, I can write historical research papers.
Oh, that's
and starting to get savvy in the collections and archives departments. Oh, I love that.
Ooh, that is very good.
I'm great at paint by numbers. That's fun.
Hey, that's something that still I'm still in negotiations, but that's something
I didn't know that. I know his real name. Nuckader. Nuckader is an excellent artist. I did not know. He didn't tell me.
See, sometimes you don't know until somebody tells you. And just because somebody doesn't do it for a living doesn't mean they're fantastic. Great. Oh, that's a good one. That's an art I very much appreciate. I love going to see live shows and.
That is so cool. Yes, a lot of very talented people.
We have a lot of talented people in this group. We got a good bunch here.
Yes, we do.
I'm taking some of that. I'm taking basically what's kind of the opposite of that green, and I'm kind of scumbling over the green. So I've got kind of like an orangey light tan brown that I'm doing because I want to make sure, again, I don't want it to look like she's outside with a weird curtain putting on a show on top of a hill somewhere. I want it to look like she's inside, and you can tell that is outside. So I'm trying to add some architectural details. I've kind of sketched in off to the side like some columns, like before it turns into a curtain. So it's going to give kind of an illusion of depth, as if there are some geometric sort of hard angles in there in between all the soft sort of organic forms. I don't want to make it look too hard because I don't want it to look like a weird. I don't want it to look like a sticker somebody stuck in front of a background. It's not like your school picture and you're like, I want autumn in the background of my photo. I want it to look like she's actually there. It's behind her, but she's in a room and she's actually taking up space. which is going to get more complicated, and we might get to that a bit later. How I've a weird. I don't want it to look like a sticker somebody stuck in front of a background. It's not like your school picture and you're like, I want Autumn in the background of my photo. I want it to look like she's actually there. It's behind her, but she's in a room and she's actually taking up space, which is going to get more complicated, and we might get to that a bit later. How I put that band of green at the bottom, and we're doing those reflections of everything. And I think I am going with the name Absinthe Reflections. That was suggested here at Twitch last time. I think that's a great name, so
I love it.
Probably go on that one. We do have at least 1 or 2 people who are on the list to purchase the original, but we always take backup names because sometimes, you need to get your car worked on, or you gotta move, or you find out you're gonna have a baby, or something's happening and you can't buy the original and you already said you're going to, and that's okay, but we take backup names. So if you are interested in the original painting, it will be at the Planet Comic Con Spectrum show, where we'll have this pin. Ooh, in fact, if you go to it, I bet I can get you one of those pins. But
I know people.
Yeah, I know people who can maybe get you one.
Oh, what'd we get? I heard
a magic noise.
Oh, thank you so much, Titch. Subscription.
Thank you very much.
So Civilization 5. Just hearing that knows that if Jasmine and I started playing it, I don't know if you'd hear about us again.
Oh, that's a thing. That's what I used to, when I was a teenager in the early 20s, I used to really like playing MMORPGs, EverQuest, and Neverwinter Nights, and all those. But after a while, I was like, I really can't do that because I got to design pins all day and do paintings and stuff. So it was really starting to be a thing. It's like, I'm either going to do it all the time, or I'm just not going to do it at all. So I had to cut myself off, basically. But I like hearing about other people's video game exploits, and maybe obviously I
our
like
retirement will be like that.
I was gonna say, maybe if
I imagine everyone's retirement will be like that too.
That's the thing about people who are our age, who grew up with computers and things like that. When they do retire, or let's say you are elderly and you can't really get out anymore, at least now you have video games. I almost kind of look forward to that. If I'm ever bedridden or something as an older person, or if I'm ever severely ill, at least, or my legs don't work or something like that, at least there's that, and that is a good thing.
Hey, thank you also for joining my Patreon.
Oh,
I've seen a few people up here joining my Patreon. Thank you so much.
Matt's got a Patreon, and he's one of his things this year is to put more, and he's got a lot of things planned for that, so that should be an interesting thing to look at.
Also, person that you see me chatting with a lot and having a lot of fun with is Shaylee.
Shaylee,
I'd like to put her Patreon up there too.
Shaylee D, yes. And we've met her in real life, and
if you like cute little birds, you're gonna love.
You would like her
Patreon.
Yes,
so I would definitely support her.
In general, Patreon is a fantastic website. I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm not saying it just to go look at me up there. Look at everybody up there. Some of my favorite musicians are up there. A lot of my favorite.
It's just a lot of fun.
It is so much more fun than something
what my suggestion would be is if you're excited and you really want to and you really want to support a lot of people.
Yeah.
Support. I mean. Although we appreciate when people support us at the pin level or higher, but support at low level.
Oh, you can pay literally $1,
and
you can follow all sorts of
Patreon into almost
there.
a social.
Like I said, it's like Facebook if Facebook was still cool.
Yes.
It's a lot more interactive, and you know how Facebook only shows you some stuff sometimes? You get to see everything up there.
Right.
It's not like, oh, we're not going to show your stuff to anybody. It's like, we'll show it to anybody who asked us to show it to, because that's how it should work. You shouldn't have to pay them advertising or whatever.
Correct. Also, if you just do a follow, a lot of people just put up a public post every now and then.
It doesn't cost a penny.
And that doesn't cost a dime.
I put stuff up on mine for free, and that is better than Facebook, and it's free. So, yeah.
Shayla, you're very welcome.
I've known I've met probably about a third of the people who work for Patreon too. They are a real company. They're here in the United States, out in the West Coast, and everybody I've met who's worked for them is very nice. They almost all of them are creators themselves.
Yeah,
like
Jack
Conte,
the CEO. He's a good guy.
I've sat with him for a while before, and he's a musician himself.
Well, here's the thing. What happened is Jasmine's so awesome, and she's a great person on her Patreon, and they liked her so much that they invited her and
I got to meet.
I'm guest.
Yeah.
We
went out to California, and we got to hang out with all the people who run Patreon, and
basically
they asked for my feedback, and they actually implemented a lot of the things I asked for, like for their whole website, and they listened. And everybody I talked to there was also they're not just the tech guy; they're also a writer. They also play the ukulele, and they have their own Patreon. So it's people who actually do that stuff, not some sort of big nameless horrible company that they don't even care if you talk to them or not. You know, they just want your money. It's like the opposite of that. So I really think highly of them.
Yeah.
And the more people up there, the better. It's just like any sort of social media. As far as that
grassroots.
goes.
I mean, that's what Patreon's all about. It's growing grassroots, really.
Yeah. I heard about it originally from Amanda Palmer. She does very well up there. I can't think of a platform that would be better for musicians, really.
Frosty B says, video games have helped me be more of a social person, so I'm learning real life skills I didn't realize I would be. Also, everyone here is awesome. I'm going to make this a weekly thing.
Oh, thank you.
So much.
Well, especially socializing and stuff. Video games have really opened it up for a lot of people. I've known several people who have gotten married or met their partners up on different video games or online RPGs and stuff. It's nothing that can be discounted, really. Okay, I think this looks more like it's actually a windowsill around there. Once I get to painting more and put some more saturated colors on the curtains, I think that will become more obvious. But now you can tell there's a very up and down line that is a windowsill there. And I've kind of brought that over to the side too. That stopped, before it was kind of green, so now I've put some sort of warmer tones. And it's going to start looking more like a piece of wood, like the actual windowsill around the window, as opposed to looking like more fields and lakes and stuff. But when I'm going to make this kind of underwater here, which is why it looks reflective. It's not going to be 100% exact. I think we talked about that last time. You can take a piece of transfer paper and like copy over the same thing, but I don't want it to be exact because I want it to look like it's kind of rippling water. And a lot of this will probably be kind of more opaque and reflecting the clouds from up there. I'll probably put some red to reflect that up there. But when I was drawing everything with my tiny little paintbrush, I was just kind of drawing, make a finger there, make a finger there. Make a spoon there, make a spoon there, make a curly there, make a curly there. So it's not exact, but your eye, when you see it once it's turned to the side, looks pretty close. If you look at it like this, you can point out, oh, that's different. There's a leaf there, there's not a leaf there. But when it's like this, and it will look like it's underwater, it won't be very obvious, and it will just give you the illusion of looking like it's reflecting.
This painting looks so advanced, I wouldn't even know what to do with it.
This is a more complicated one. Again, I'll compare it to the one I did about 20 years ago that was called Absinthe Afternoon. This one, it has a lot of the same elements, which is I'm intentionally making it kind of like it because I really like this painting. It's got a girl kind of in historical dress. She's got a little absinthe glass. Got a window with some very ominous sort of clouds. This one is very simple though. You can see I had a wider paintbrush. I just kind of went whoo-hoo, which is kind of more expressionistic, and I like that in a way. But when I'm comparing it with something that has a really elaborate sort of embroidered dress and all the fancy little things on her sleeves and the lots of details on the curtains, this one just had kind of a plain, I don't know how good the colors show up, but I'm hoping you can see this. It's got kind of a burgundy curtain that just hangs down flat. This one I want to make it more of a rococo sort of blowing in the wind sort of thing going. So it's got the same sort of feel to it, but it's a much, much more
Jasmine,
detailed picture. Yeah.
Shaylee loves the dress, and also she says she's going to start a Twitch soon.
Oh, excellent. Yeah,
I can't wait to watch that.
Patreon, yes. We will make sure to follow you up here. Let us know when you're up here.
When I'm able to myself enjoy Twitch, it's usually when I'm doing a ton of work, like
putting
production work,
putting things in frames or like in boxes or something,
or stretching
canvases,
mountains of canvas. Yeah. Because Jasmine does a lot of business.
Yeah,
so she keeps me busy.
I do. Yeah. So,
and Canvas Cuties alone.
Canvas Cuties alone. Hey, Canvas Cuties are awesome.
Canvas Cuties are great.
They use up the wood and the canvas that would otherwise get thrown away in a lot of places.
Yes, so and again, not to mention Patreon constantly.
Wow.
But the only way you can get a Canvas Cutie, unless you're at a live event. I think we still have those live events?
We do have some live events in person, but as far as the internet goes, that's the only way you can
get them. That's the only way you can get them. Yep, you can Canvas Cuties, and we have a ton to choose from. And we always add. We just added 3, didn't we?
Yes, we did. You know, I didn't even. Those are 3 pictures I didn't even talk about here.
You know what? We always have so much to talk about, but
Jasmine's
phenomenal Resurrected series that she did for Corey Helford.
That's been something I've posted in between last Sunday and today, and I completely
started.
What I like about 3 paintings.
What I like about them is that. Well, first, much like you, I like curios.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
I like fossils.
Fossils, natural curiosities, and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But these are masterpiece, but they're done at a
on the same level as the originals.
Yeah. Right. Yes, and they are a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, they are.
They're not as large, but my gosh, you could get the whole set.
Yes, and we did miss
what you could for one masterpiece typically.
Yes, canvas. He means masterpiece limited edition canvases. He's not talking about the original paintings. Those are already all sold. That's how things work sometimes.
The originals are gone.
They're all gone, but we do have, I think,
those
some of the limited editions up there. I
gosh, you could get the whole set.
Yes, and we did miss
what you could for one masterpiece typically.
Yes, canvas. He means masterpiece limited edition canvases. He's not talking about the original paintings. Those are already all sold. That's how things work sometimes.
The originals are gone.
They're all gone, but we do have, I think,
those
some of the limited editions up there.
I'm going to put up some links.
Put some links up because I don't think I even have any prints here to show anybody.
Now, did Amber put up I think she sells them all together.
Yeah, there's a set of all three.
Okay. I will go ahead and just...
It actually, Matt, if you go to strangeling.com and you type in the words, this might sound weird, resurrected, space, cat. I know it says cat, and they're not all cats, but if you type that in, it will bring up all three in the masterpiece format, the limited edition format, the open edition format, and the paper.
And if you're logged into the
Patreon special site up at strangeling.com,
yes, then you'll see that too. So check these out. These are fantastic.
Yes.
And these are three pieces that are very near and dear to Jasmine's heart.
Yeah.
And I kind of think of her as kind of a child. Holding these things and just loving them.
Again, remember I was in my first day of kindergarten, I told the teacher I wanted to be a paleontologist, and my teacher didn't know what that was. She had me write it up on the chalkboard, and I felt very grown up because I knew how to spell paleontologist. Man, I wanted to be a paleontologist, but I can do it now, just as an amateur, obviously. I can't do it for a living.
You become a paleontologist. I become a paleobotanist, and together we'll figure out stuff.
Paleobotanist. I like paleobotany a lot too. I could go on and on about.
The link won't show up in your phone.
Look. Did you type it right, Maddie?
I certainly did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just your phone, Shaylee. I'm sorry.
Did you put the S in there for HTTPS?
Yes. Yes,
it is.
It is secure.
Okay. Is anybody else getting it to work?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what people, different things have.
Well, I mean, if she's the only one that's not working, it might be anything. But if it's not working when you typed it in for anybody,
you shared it right. It's just she says you shared it right. It's just your phone.
Oh, okay.
So just search resurrected up at strangeling.com and those should pop.
Yeah, that will bring up a lot of other things too, though. So
probably cool stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
But yes, I love. Everyone else says it works.
Oh, good. Yay.
I love that series.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's really popular at Pop too.
It is, yeah.
I think those 10x10s.
Yeah, the 10x10
open those are a really good way to collect them too. They're $95 a piece.
Yeah, they're like really big canvas cuties because they're square.
Yes.
And with ones like that, there isn't a whole lot of detail at the top or the bottom of the painting, so they work really good for squares, like on the Canvas Cuties, or like you said, at Pop Gallery, they do their 10x10s at Disney, and those are awesome. I'm kind of working a bit on this little column here.
Oh, what you got going on with the column?
Oh, and this is another one of the architectural elements I'm putting to make it look more like she's inside. It's all over here. Maybe I'll scoot over you can see it better. I'm just taking that same kind of brown orange and I'm mixing a bit more of the green. And I have my lines I did with the ruler last time.
Now, Jasmine,
got a little pillow in front of it to make it look softer. Yeah.
Would your sister called that a pillar?
The pillow or the pillar?
Yes.
That's a good joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
It would take too long to explain.
It would take too long to explain.
But, it's confusion with the word pillar and pillow, and this has both. So
Sorry,
we're from Missouri.
An American person that maybe had a kind of a southern accent may say pillar instead of pillow.
Yeah.
And one of Jasmine's sisters before the wedding.
It was after the wedding because that's why we still had the pillars.
They said, "Would you put those pillars?"
I have the pillar in the car.
I have the pillar in the car,
and it was pillars like columns. She had set up for our wedding because it was outside in the park. It was like a nature sort of wedding, And she also had pillows, like you would sleep on, like a pillow. And they both happened to be in the car, so therein lies the hilarity. But yeah.
That was the same weird house when I asked Kachina to play For What It's Worth.
Oh my gosh, the haunted radio record player.
Yes,
it wasn't even
and she didn't even play it. It just happened to be on the radio
she was
or
holding
something.
the record. It wasn't even plugged in.
That was
what
weird.
was weird. Yes.
How
and
did that happen?
It started playing it, and she was still holding the record, and it was weird. We weren't even like drunk or anything. It was just wow. That was bizarre.
Only 2 out of 3 of us even drink.
That's true.
In that scenario.
Yeah, that's true. And that was a long time ago. I mean, I've been like teenager still.
You're watching TV, or you're watching Twitch on your TV, but you're typing on your phone.
Ah,
okay.
That's neat. Does it? I guess it probably lets you log on and multiple things at once. It's not like it's Netflix.
Oh, I like Ghost Stories too. Ghost Stories are great.
I like Ghost Stories.
They're some of my favorite.
I like hearing first-hand account ghost stories from people who it actually happened to.
Wise Tales Art says, I love that you use your desk as your palette.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good way to keep from adding clutter to the desk. That thing must weigh good 20 pounds.
I was gonna say, I remember this used to be this used to be stained a lovely kind of dark brown, and it's wood. It's this natural wood. This easel here is, and it just it's probably like this thick.
Yes, if you guys look at the bit just below Jasmine's arm, you can see what color it used to be.
I don't know if you can see that, but like down here, this is like the slidey thing that scoots in and out, like to hold up my paintbrushes and things. And yeah, the whole thing used to be just like wood, and now it's like I could probably peel it off with like a, I don't know, putty knife or something.
I don't know, Jasmine. I think that would probably.
Well, I used to do that with my palette. Now I use, I don't know, if somebody was asking me about why I use plastic plates. It's the same plastic plate. I probably use it 200 times. I've got a yellow sponge I've cut into a circle, and I soak it in water. And then I've got a piece of palette paper. It's just like paper you soak in water, and I use that for my palette. So I rinse this off, and I use that same piece of paper, same sponge, same little plate, and it goes down the sink. It doesn't make any clutter. I use the same plate each time, and it does not make much waste. When you're running a business out of your house, I think it becomes worrisome if you think you're making too much landfill stuff or throwing away too much garbage or something. So I try to streamline it as much as I can. Like Matt was talking about the canvas cuties. Those are made out of the leftover bits of wood and canvas that we get from.
We try to be as resourceful as we can.
Yeah.
When you have a business at home, you realize how much trash you can generate, and you try to.
We definitely
try to be mindful.
We put a lot of thought into that, so I'm kind of weird about it. And that's okay. I don't like being wasteful. Oh, got one of the hairs of my brush came out. Try to catch those. I mean, it's neat when you see it like in a Van Gogh painting or something at the Louvre, and you're like, oh, like there's a grasshopper stuck in there and a piece of brush, but I don't want it in my paintings. I don't really. If I had more brushy sort of expressionist style, maybe that would be better, but something that's very finely tuned like this, I don't want to leave a big old brush hair right on somebody's face. Okay. Now when I do the final layer of this, I'll want to finish the, on the column at least, I'll want the fabric of the cloth to be finished before I do the very final layer.
Jasmine.
That way I'll have a very, very sharp line. Yeah.
Would you sign the corner of your desk and sell it?
I need this desk. No. Like, if I got a new desk.
That desk actually isn't very cheap.
No, this desk got a lot of money.
On it.
Actually, the one that's eventually, hopefully this year, I'm going to set up my another Twitch station in my same studio by my big easel. You might think this is a big easel, but no, my big easel is over about 10 feet from here. And that was one that was so expensive. I actually had to do it as a Patreon, like, crowdfunding goal to even buy it. I had my eye on it forever. You can put a 12-foot painting on it or something.
Something wacky
I don't know.
like
My ceiling it wouldn't fit through the front door if I did on wood, but that is a very nice one. That's where I work on larger paintings, and I haven't gotten to the point where I'm really able to move my broadcasting setup over there. So our plan is probably in the next month or two to get additional cameras to set up on that part of my studio. So I'll probably do part of the broadcast on my smaller easel here, and then do the other one on a big one, like if I have a big painting I'm currently working on. I'll be starting work shortly on my upcoming show for the Corey Helford Gallery, which is the big one in Los Angeles, where they give me this huge 4,000 square foot building, and that will be in autumn of 2020. So I'm going to have to start working on some larger pieces for that in the not too distant future, after all the Epcot stuff's done, probably. So I need this desk in the meantime. I don't, yeah, it has writing all over it. I don't know if you've seen that. Whenever I think of something and it's like, oh, I've got an idea for painting, I'll like just start writing on it and it'll get covered up with paint later. I don't, maybe if I died or something, it'd be a good thing to auction off for charity or, I don't know. But in the meantime,
I suppose I'll do that.
In the meantime, I need it to paint on, so.
I'll give it to Special Olympics or something good like that.
Yeah, somebody good, yeah, that'd be fine. Okay. I'll show you how that's looking. I don't know how well you can tell there, but now it's starting to look more like
viewers,
a...
Jasmine.
Oh, excellent. Hi, everybody.